Who's that? Commander Claw. Who's bad? Commander Claw. Welcome, viewers. This is episode 1 of the 10-minute Commander Guide, where we briefly give 1 or 2 possibilities on how to build around a commander. After watching this video, if you have your own strategy on how to build with this commander from the episode, feel free to comment below. Our commander for episode 1 is Toluz Clever Conductor. She's a new commander from the streets of New Capenna. This image with the words Wishful Thinking is the title of our YouTube Shorts video on Toluz, so look for it in your YouTube feed. And now let's move on to her abilities. Toluz is a Azurus Blue Dimir Mana cost legendary 3/1 human rogue creature that reads, when Toluz Clever Conductor enters the battlefield, it connives. Draw a card, then discard a card. If you discarded a non-land card, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, exile them from your graveyard. When Toluz dies, put the cards exiled with it into their owner's hands. Now, for the game plan for Toluz will be super easy. Her objective is to stash combo pieces into exile. Then you can return those combo pieces to your hand when she dies. Next category up is the high synergy cards. Remember, the game plan for Toluz is to stash cards into exile. So in order to get them into exile, you need to discard. The first type of synergy cards that I'm looking for have an explosive card draw and discard. First card you should use when using Toluz is a blue staple called Windfall. It's for 2 colorless, 1 blue. It's a sorcery that says each player discards his or her hand, then draws cards equal to the greatest number of cards a player discarded this way. Now skip to the right side of the screen. We have Tolarian Winds, 1 colorless, 1 blue instant that says discard your hand, then draw that many cards. Now focus your eyes into the middle of the screen, and we have Archfiend of Ifnir. It's a 3 colorless, 2 black, 5/4 demon flying that says whenever you cycle or discard another card, put a -1/-1 counter on each creature your opponents control. So when you're using an explosive card draw, heavy discard ability, you're able to board wipe your opponent's creatures if they have any out there, and if you discarded enough cards. Not bad. Now let's deep dive a little bit further for more high synergy cards. The first creature that I have is Forgotten Creation. 3 colors, 1 blue. It's a zombie horror with Skulk, but that's not where it shines with Toluz. It shines with the second ability. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may discard all the cards in your hand. If you do, draw that many cards. It's literally Tolarian Winds on a creature at the beginning of your upkeep. So every turn you can Tolarian Winds with the Forgotten Creation. Bam, put more cards into exile, storing more cards, more pieces into exile, and just protecting them. And getting a fresh new card draw. Next up, Diamond Lion. 2 colorless artifact creature cat, 2/2. Don't worry about its strength. I look at this card as a last ditch effort, and here's why. Its ability says discard your hand, sack Diamond Lion, add 3 mana of any 1 color, only activate as an instant. So let's say you have like that 1 card left in your hand and you want to put it into exile. Hey, this video wouldn't be good if I didn't give you more high synergy cards. Next up is Heightened Awareness. Is an enchantment, 3 colors, 2 blue. It reads, when it comes into play, discard your hand. At the beginning of your draw step, draw a card. I think this card does everything that you want it to do by discarding your hand, putting cards into exile if Toluz is on the battlefield, but most importantly, it gives you an extra card at the beginning of your upkeep. So you're not going down a card whenever you're discarding cards. Next up is Dark Deal. It's literally Windfall, but the dark version of it. Each player discards all the cards in his or her hand, then draws that many cards -1. So if somebody has 7 cards, everybody's drawing 6. Next up is Recall. This is a classic card. I believe that's from Ice Ages. Anyway, it's a sorcery. Choose and discard X cards from your hand to take X target cards from your graveyard and put them into your hand. Remove Recall from the game. Well, guess what? If you're discarding cards from your hand, you're just putting them into exile and you're getting free cards from your graveyard if Toluz is on the battlefield. We referenced Toluz earlier as a Wishful Thinking card and having abilities of the Wish cards. Wish cards basically allow you to return cards from outside the game. They're usually exiled, and today we will show you 4 that are mostly relevant and that are decent enough to play with Toluz. First card I'd like to mention is Fae of Wishes. Forget the creature side, use the sorcery adventure side, and where it says you may choose a non-creature card you own from outside the game, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Using these wish cards to pull combo pieces at the right time, I believe, are very important. Next up is Cunning Wish. It's an instant. Choose an instant card you own from outside the game, reveal that card and put it into your hand. Remove Cunning Wish from the game. Only 3 mana to do that at instant speed. That's game winning right there. Game winning. Finally, we're moving to the last two. We have Mastermind's Acquisition. It's literally a tutor for 4, which is pretty expensive. So it allows you to tutor for cards in your library and choose a card you own from outside the game and put it to your hand. It's just a little expensive. That's it. Next up is an enchantment, the Raven's Warning. The first lore, create a 1/1 blue bird creature token with flying, you gain 2 life. Okay, the second lore, whenever one or more creatures you control with flying deal combat damage to a player this turn, look at that player's hand and draw a card. Okay, that's great. The third lore, you may put a card you own from outside the game on top of your library. So the reason why I like this card, it's an enchantment and it gives you value. Only for 3 mana. But it does require some timing. So you need to discard cards previously and use this third lore, and hopefully it doesn't get blown up in order for you to take advantage of pulling a card from outside the game and placing it on top of your library. Finally, our last category is Commander Highlights, which is just a quick review on what makes the Commander attractive to play. First off, she has a flexible and low mana cost in Esper colors, and she's only 3 mana. And you get to use these 4 combinations in Esper, such as white, blue, 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 white, blue, black, blue, blue, black. Next benefit is she has Esper colors, and Esper is known for counterspells, sack outlets, control strategies, flicker tactics, and discard tactics. Next up is her discard payoffs. When you discard a card, you put it into exile instead of into the yard. She also has the connive mechanic, which is rummage with a power boost, and if you discard a non-land card, your creature gets +1/+1. Then she also has an ETB trigger, which uses the connive mechanic, so you're able to discard a card when she enters the battlefield to exile a card or a combo piece, I should say. Finally, it's her death trigger in order to bring back cards from exile. So you can use sack outlets, and there's a lot of black spells that sacrifice a creature, such as Deadly Dispute. I want to thank all the viewers for watching episode 1 of the 10-minute Commander Guide. If you liked the video, please hit the subscribe button so you can stay updated to all the things that we're doing here at Commander Claw. And like I said earlier before, if you have your own strategy or you'd like to share your strategy using Toluz, don't forget to comment below. Peace.